To the 24th chapter of our Lord's Gospel according to St. Luke, a portion of the 42nd verse. Lord, remember me when thou comest into thy kingdom. Lord, remember me when thou comest into thy kingdom. I want to talk from the subject tonight, remember me. Remember me. The scene of our text tonight suggests to us that Jesus did not hang in a cathedral between two candles, but Jesus hung on a cross between two feet. Jesus hung on Calvary, a place where people talk much, where they cursed and where men gambled. This is the way he died, and this is what we all ought to be about. 3 men died in that orchard on Calvary. On that great day of death, do we see 3 trees on Golgotha's feet? On the middle tree was the Son of God that came down from the adorations of heaven to the abominations of this earth. On the other 2 trees were 2 malefactors, commonly called thieves. Now all 3 died, but they died in different ways. One died in anger, one died in agony, the other died in appeal. One died a blasphemer, one died a believer, the other died a benefactor. One died in condemnation, One died in contrition. The other died in compassion. One died in derision. Another died in decision. Jesus died in distinction. I wanted to have a witness. One died in expulsion. One died in election. Jesus died in exaltation. One died in folly. One died in faith. Jesus died in fulfillment. One died in grief. One died in grace. Jesus died in glory. One died in hissing. The other died in a hope. Jesus died in humility. I'm trying to tell you, all of them died, but they died in different ways. Now as Jesus hung there on the cross in physical agony that was almost unbearable, shouts of derision was call your attention to the 24th chapter of our Lord's Gospel according to St. Luke. A portion of the 42nd verse. Lord, remember me. Those who had pledged faithfulness to the end had forsaken him. His mother stood at the foot of the cross in a mother's sorrow. Judas had betrayed the Christ. And when the enemies of Jesus saw him hanging on the cross, they began kneeling around the cross, shaking their fist at him and mocking this dying king. They said to him, "You say that you are king, then where's your crown? The only crown we see is the crown of thorns that's on your head. You say that you are king, then where is your robe? The only robe we see is the robe of your crimson Look, did we understand you to tell us if we tear the temple down that you would rebuild it in 3 days? Why don't you start now to rebuilding the temple? You say that you are the Son of God. Where is your God? Why does he let you hang on the cross? Why does he let you suffer as you are suffering now? If thou be the Christ, why don't you save yourself and then save us? Why don't you talk to me? Said that the thief on the left join in the mark. Does it tell me that you raised Lazarus from the dead? You also restored the widow's son. You brought the ruler's daughter back to life. Now why don't you save yourself? They tell me that you healed a woman that had an issue of blood. Why can't you stop the flow of your own blood? They tell me that you opened the eyes of the blind, that you healed the paralytic and you cured the lepers. Then if you are the Christ with all of this power, why don't you save yourself and save us? And we'll get together and set us up a king. Now, this thief wanted Christ to perform a miracle. He wanted him to give some proof of his divinity. But he says, if thou be the Christ, why don't you talk to me? He said, if thou be the Christ. And a religion that has an if in it, where the law is concerned, won't save anybody. If you gonna pray, don't put no if there. If you're going to talk to God, don't go to God with an if. If you're on your way to operator's room and you want God to heal you, don't go to him with an if. I don't believe you're praying. If you're on your way to the courtroom and you want God to meet you there, don't go to God with an if. I think that when you go to God in prayer, whatever you ask him for, you ought to ask him for in faith. He said, if you ask in faith, I'll grant it in grace. If you ask God for rain, you ought to have so much faith that you go get your umbrella. If you ask God for food, you may not have any in the refrigerator, but you ought to have so much faith.
Caught me as quick as an arrow to the chest, but there's no screaming. Conditional love, or the expectations to the white noise of the TV playing in the back, to disguise the dis-ease, this only the quiet buzz of the electricity. I was wading through the halls of the heaviness and the state inside of my mind for the fair weather with the friend of the seemingly get weightless now. Building my walls were so tall that thick enough for the man to enter for the yet face welcome into to each. Like a demon said you couldn't, for the sanctuary was built to define of imaginary walls that I created. It's found in the physical, for the windows are open, for the fresh air wavering through. And honest signaling, and this is this consensus for the reaching of conclusions and false senses, and over your circulously endlessly. Phenomenon of crystallization for the logic, for the discipline, lashing out for this, not the Saturday. They're able to climb for the depth of the sap anyway, for there was the pool to be happy for you to be wet. The less the worse, the less work for the moose floor, for the immersion, omitting over your trace of life in the dark. The closing in for the chutes too narrow, for the down the pipes certainly. This I'm Aaron. Your sure hand is still near for the end of the beat. You're a tripwire type with the word the word a while. Just end up leaving it the ceiling over the true chord with a re. Count a shard over the state of vessel for the knot undertone. A blood on the finger to the print, certainly. I'm not to compare for the untitled and dark for the book, but with the first word for the hour, the dawn for this could be the dreaming and the love song for this. So we had it all for the one with both the sky muttered over the round and green table the will be first. Caught me as quick as an arrow to the chest, but there's no screaming. Conditional love were the expectations to the white noise of the TV playing in the back, to disguise the dis-ease, this only the quiet buzz of the electricity. It was wading through the halls of the heaviness of the state inside of my mind for the fair weather for the friend of the secretly get witness now. Building my walls were so tall and thick enough where the man can enter for the yet face welcome into each. Like a demon that said you couldn't, for the sanctuary was built to define the imaginary walls that I created. It's found in the physical, for the windows are open, for the fresher air wavering through. And honest signaling, and this is consensus for the reaching of conclusions and false senses, and over your circles again to sleep. Phenomenon of crystallization for the logic, for the disobedient, lashing out for this, not the Saturday. They able to climb for the dip of the satin anyway, for there was the pool to be happy for you to be wet. The less the words, the less work for the move slower, for the immersion, omitting over your trace of life in the dark. The closing in for the chutes too narrow, for the down the pipes certainly. I'm Aaron. Your sure hand is still near for the end of the beat. You're a tripwire type with the word the word a while, just to end up leaving it the ceiling over the true chord with a re. Count a shard over the state of vessel for the knot of the tone. Blood on the finger to the print, certainly. I'm not to compare for the untitled and dark for the book, but with the first birth for the hour, the dawn for this could be the dreaming and the love song for this, and we had it all for the one. Both the sky muttered over the round and green table the will be first meant for the fervent fiber for the resurrection to transform everyone's being. Means being beating over the social justice for the mum and the blown the word for the blue, where the curtains are wide open for the you. Assumed the near-death experience at the beginning of the movement. It was a night around with the window for the turn to go for the catching the sight for the weather across the distance, pretending I was looking over the fair was the promise never to know what the fairly. Good morning. You were here with the returning of the bridge and over the merging of the beautiful shivering of the moon dust. This is the original you can have the what's arrived now. I disintegrated to the decorate. Yearning for the sound roots to give solitude for the deep listening and the loneliness and the prayer for the possible to believe to be like sunflower. Blossoming with the tall grasses with them there for the thought, for the solitude, for the creativity, for the breath. You're like a how for the isn't it different? Did you even know? Calling off with the call me back. We're different than thee. Pointed over the pointing the burning star for the crystalline crown. Just mind. You can find obsession, the quiet, the burning, for the intoxicated, for the way that you can find yourself to tension. Sparked when you had the pedal for the picker, but then you love me, you're loving not. Premature for the loving and quickly over the suddenly, but without the spirit of the presence of the impatient and manly. Slaughter for the eye, for the holes in the gap. Agape for the delay in your fields in the night covered the weight. And the wants, this to find the ceases to urge, the surge, or the winds that rise and fall. Premature. Or celestial radiance in the sun of it, you were burning like a large flaming fire for the burning with passion, the lenses and senses for the can't understand, for the decision, for the person you can state, for your own being. And they used it with the words left unspoken, with the wounds and the left untouched, deceiving and opening, but the iris is now never enough for this, the familiar devastation for the shivering and the never beginning no more. In the days, your fingertips and the linger over my body for the weeks and never the hair for the way, for this besides you for the never the fail whole again, for the pathetic and for the crawling back to the every brief and every crest of the hesitation. Between them fleeting moments of deep intimacy for your very soul dangling by the thread, for the holding by your thumb and the pointer finger for the plague, and for the inability for the control your vulnerability for the to be dignity for the every ounce of the pride for this to be night out by your side for the chasing too. Remind me of who had that there for the thought for this to be good to move for the turning around for this to keep going. A mirror of the haiku stuck at the call in the halos of time for this is what it means by the page. It means that in the order for the loss of hope, whether should I keep going? Nope, this to be free for the path that never became easier for the simply someone who could walk it for talk or for the acceptance with it you planted or for the with the shiniest star for the sky that truly be the purpose of the proposal for the long to others for the life for the even the darkest of the room for the diamond has to be dug before it's seen.
The healing is to look back with the wind. Why you turned around now for the can't win, for the against the path of the wind. It all happens now for the different part. It was the identity of reflection, still ended up forgetting who I was. It was the soapy hands to wash yourself clean, for the lenses, the sensitive of the highs and lows, the lights to get the hide on. Words left unspoken like
take the strain of guilt away and on me at that time.
words left unspoken like wound caught me as quick as it left untouched, seeping into the open, and hours never enough. Slowly picked my head up the floor for this perfume, the lingers of the desperation, the quiet, the familiar devastation for the weaker sharing. Never anything anymore for the unquiet, for the touch of the waves of the keys on over the heavy, over the skin for this day. Your fingertips linger on the body for the weeks that I to right. Wait to be beside, just to feel the whole again, for this pathetically enough to crawl into the width of every find hesitation for the trait, no energy for resting my head on your chest at the between the fleeting of the moments of the deep intimacy. I can find the very dangling of the body thread. And hold between your thumb and the pointer finger for the iPlague. And an inability for the controlling of the vulnerability for the scorn. This would be the moment that I can find myself reading under the text, this final stage and find the claim. An addiction for the adrenaline rush, just find here over your name. I crash for their name, but remember for the death, for the guilt, infliction, for the burning of the me in every way. Hold for a second for the exactly what the cost. The sanity for the dignity in over every ounce. This is pride for the passenger for the side of your car. For this, imagine what it would be like if I could find a longer ride for this, the way to your home and I could ponder. Building up for the armor, for the just stripped away, just sitting up for the everything that they're not allowed because of none. I find time to inside the fate. Dim light for the realizing the currency was dealing in. You use my body to fill your silence, and I with the chest to quiet the mind. A decade of your history for the reduce the habit, all because I love what it is to find the ego to safely reside for this to wait you what you want for this to really define it. You're tired enough at the sense of this of what I wanted to for the shorter moment I can get delivered inside of immersion you. And if I ever had the chance to tell you with the words of love unspoken, with the wounds are left untouched, is seeping again. And the quiet sorrows and settling in my mind for the chapter that pause of the story to take when you told, and over the space between the heavy and profound, but the word my heart is stuff is to be doing. Like a handshake for the start of small, for this is the relativity, good for this understanding to step inside the sea. And elude for the what it meant to be for the stings, and I won't deny the presence of the ache. This is the lonely path, and the hopeful enough for the thought for the take of this to be the X is find what's the way. Toward the brighter and more resilient. Through the silence and the retreat for the time apart is mending. A fabric deeper within the heart for the necessary, the winter for the starting still, to this road to fold the frozen ground, and this stall and feel. Lessons learned with the strength that we couldn't find. But every day the routine, how did us sublime? And this would be the quiet for the word of old hurt. This is can't cease to the foundation for the stronger that leaves increase. So I embrace the truth that this is through the tears of fall, fail to fall over the withdrawal, what we needed for us and all the growth for this to heal. And truly understand that perhaps this will reach again and feel this is not that we are stronger than for the truth and free. Future us, this is the best of we are meant to be, that this is not to be for me, meant to. And meant to be for the handshake with your fireworks, your thoughts, this thought with the irritating, sweet with enough for the lady, for the watching and me, for the doing your own thing. Good to move for the tripping down the tippy toe with the stairs, and over the rich and Roger Russia flashes, this is too array free. To turn around and over the rush around, and this is keep tiptoeing fast enough for the stars to the night for the stare of the steer, the stars of stare. Or without the word, we get in the world for the bother in the sight for this. Sometimes I wonder how they look so delicately good for the flight for the each individual for the illuminating of the dark. perfectly cut the diamonds and never with them, meticulously invited the inside system of the scene, emitted the lumens and giving the dark light for the sometimes the light for the hard to sky and over the fireflies spark to ignite. And now reminding you of childhood and reminiscing over the past and living in the present for the wishing it would be the future for the constantly living up to. Taking my time for granted, maybe the altar planetary, but to watch it to grow up like me for the lending of the careless and free for the looking up at the stars that reminded me of living in things to be. Or what it's supposed to be for there was supposedly for this page of being the mean sky for the order for the hope and what I should have keep going. Hypocrisy with the can I say everyone know. Just this truth like this soft chord on the piano was just a man put the light with the miller over your fire. And the bleeding over into the next of the colors and the smeared into the bottom. Stained passion for the thirst of fire in my chest is the butterflies that want more than sex. I find a way to fight the instinct. I grab your face.